Man, what's the difference between David Benavidez today versus the one about 3 years ago? Because you've always been a hell of a fighter. That's no secret there. But it feels like you've grown up, matured. I don't know what you want to call it, but you seem like a different man now.
Yeah, I mean, from 21 years old, I mean, 22 years old to 25, it really makes a big difference. I've basically lived my young life already, and now I have a wife, I have a kid, and now I'm going into my ninth year pro, and this is something that I really want to continue doing. I really want to be the best fighter by the time my career is done. I feel like I have another 10 years, so now I have to work even harder to maintain myself and to be better. But the David back then, I was still a kid at 22. Now I'm kind of still a kid at 25. Not a kid, but I'm a young man at 25. But I feel like I've got more experience. I've been through a lot of ups and downs, and I'm getting stronger. I'm getting faster, and I'm getting really comfortable to where I'm at right now. Feeling very comfortable in these big fights, and I feel like now is the time that I felt like back then I was ready for anybody, but now I know for a fact I'm ready for anybody, and I'm ready to face whoever, whenever.
Yeah, it's crazy because like years ago, I used to hear about you in the gyms and who you fought in the shots that you were giving people and the shots that you were taking. Was there a time when you were younger that you kind of started to believe your own hype a little bit, or was it just a maturity thing that you're young and it's like this is all coming so fast? I'm trying to navigate this world of being. I think people forget how young you were as a world champion.
Yeah, it's not that I was believing my own hype. It's just that you go from not having any money, and then you just win the title at 20 years old, and then you have all this money, and you're still a kid. You don't know how to basically act. You go from not having nobody. From when I was a little kid and I was a teenager, I was a fat teenager nobody wanted to hang out with. And then I get in shape, I become world champion. Then everybody wants to get around me. Then I have all these friends that are not, they're my friends, but they're not really my friends. You know what I mean? And then you just have to make the mistakes and grow up. And I feel like I've always felt like experience is the best teacher. And I've lived it all. I've done everything. And now I really know that I really want to be a champion, and I really want to be focused. And now I'm a father. I have to lead by example, and not only for my son, but to all the little kids from Phoenix, Arizona. It's not a hard place. I mean, it's not an easy place to come out from. It's really hard. The living conditions in Phoenix, Arizona are really hard. But, I want to show the kids that I came up from the same environment as them. So if I did it, anybody else could do it. So now I got to be a role model.
People want to see you fight Charlo. People want to see like Caleb. People want to see you fight Canelo. I want to ask you about Canelo because do you think that you would have already fought Canelo if the things didn't happen, you were still the WBC champion?
I mean, I don't know. I can't say because I should have been fought Canelo already. I was the number one mandatory. I've been the number one mandatory for a couple fights already. And when I had the belt, he didn't want to fight me. But when I lost the title on the scale, he fought the next mandatory. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't think about that stuff. I can't think about like, oh, what if I would have, made weight. I feel like now I'm still here and I'm still fighting for my spot. And after this fight, I'm gonna be the interim title. I'm the interim champion. So I mean, if he doesn't want to fight me, then he has to vacate that world title and let me fight for it. I've earned the shot. I've paid my dues, and I'm still here. And the champion has to fight the number one contender, and that's it.
And I don't want to harp too much on it, but I feel like you're the one guy. I said this on Twitter recently. You have to fight with a certain, I don't give a who you are attitude to beat somebody like Canelo. And I feel like few fighters do that aside from you. Do you agree with that assessment that a lot of people get in that ring, they freeze up? You've never been a guy who's been intimidated by what's in front of you.
Yeah, definitely. It's because I know anybody I put my hands on, I can hurt. And all the stuff that Canelo did, that's cool. I have a lot of respect for him, but he's never fought me. And I know definitely I'm not scared of nobody. I feel like I'm really meant to be champion. I'm really meant to be one of the best of my generation. And I believe myself. I believe that my skills, I believe my heart, and I believe my hunger. And I feel like nobody can stop me.
Why do you get under Charlo and Caleb's skin? Like, what is it about you? They don't have beef with anybody else like they do you. What is it? Is it something that they see? I mean, from your perspective, what do you think it is?
It's because it's not that. It's because they've never had a nice guy stand up to him like me. Now, I don't like problems, and I'm not the guy who's gonna go on Twitter and talk, and, just going on rants and stuff. But I'm not gonna let nobody talk to me in any type of way. I'm very polite to anybody. But once I see them and they got some against me, it's on. I'm not gonna let nobody punk me, do any of that type of stuff. And they're not used to not being able to intimidate people. These people think, Charlo especially, he thinks he's a gangster. He thinks that him and his crowd can go and intimidate people. I don't give a about none of that. If we got to fight, I'm going to him up in the street. And if I got to fight him in the ring, I'm going to him up in the ring. Nobody intimidates me. Nobody talks to me in any type of way. I don't want them to talk to me. And that's just what I am. I believe in myself so much that I feel like I can hurt anybody. And then Caleb Plant too. He thinks he's the best, but he knows that he can't call himself the best until he sees me. He thinks he's the second coming to Mayweather. And now he's a little bit more humble that he got his ass knocked out by Canelo, but he's still there talking. Now he's saying that he's going to go beat everybody else and then he's going to get a rematch with Canelo. But all these guys know, man, I know I put fear in their heart and they know it as well.
And do you think, next week when you fight David Lemieux, they're going to be watching? It's not like they're not going to be watching you fight. I think after that performance, you think they're going to be on Twitter still talking? Or do you think they might get silent a little bit?
I mean, I don't know. They just talk. They just talk and talk. But they could talk all they want unless they come see me. All that doesn't matter. That's what they do. They just talk and talk and talk all day. But, I feel like the fans, especially, are getting tired of that. That's why I'd rather not say nothing until the fights are made. But, hopefully, I think later this year, we could have these big fights made.
Last question for you. Do you think you're the most exciting fighter in the sport right now? I don't think I've ever seen you in a bad fight, but I don't even know. Do you watch your own fights and see what we're seeing?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I wouldn't say yet I am. I feel like I'm one of the most exciting fighters, but I feel like I will be the most exciting fighter when they give me the fights with all the other great fighters. Because I know I'm good, but I know once they put me with another fighter that's as good as me, that's when the best comes out. And the best is yet to come for me.